OKFM 101.7.
Honorable Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, a former education minister, a former deputy education minister, or MP for North Tom, na yedin intri inkomo. Honorable Memoachi.
Yo, so I'm official person.
I think commentary, I say na nkwane ahodin ewo ho. Na mami musa ayi sa spillage no, down spillage no. Ebepim ne ompesua so e what saying.
Yo, me da say the kind mami ntia for nyina na memma obia official pa. Me know me know kasa say me wo me constituency. Me wo second construction site. Chief Bekaya Spillage no AC no VR for omobie Akosombo Nippon dams no ebesay nema bibre osha NADMO data across the country almost 40,000 NADMO 39,000 people displaced. Now so my constituency and the epicenter ahana dudwana displaced and osha the level of damage, particularly the Mepe Township. In Ubaha, about 12,633 people are displaced. Yeah, Casas is here, no. Uba North Toa, Ube who say you were 21 displaced camps. Schools are in Crofona, Omo dying, in Siono, Ebubu Omo dying, no. A Hona, Omo campus, say. And camps no ebi wo mapa uko degome ye wo camps miensan wo ho uko that's mapa degome uko mapa Roman Catholic Basic School ye wo displaced camp wo ho uko agbetikpo uko fojoku uko dofwadidome uko kledeke into 21 camps schools into in Colano, they are displaced twice from their homes and then from their schools. The most urgent response, as I say, yema say, housing. As I say, you see a dying amount. Because according to NADMO, on what kind, about 1,500 damaged homes. Dana Ebubuno. About 1,500. Into the year say and say you see a dying amount. Into first one no you see no in 7 weeks. Me person me bought First Sky Company Limited Abaso or more subsidiary construction ambassadors or more boy into nananom emma or more assassin free of charge and or more construction. My part is to provide furnishing into empana rooms no and fans, ceiling fans no and utilities mina metuaka. It's a nice partnership. Nananom ema asase na omo umbetumi abua with the construction no mabua na me ma support with the furnishing and then the utilities, particularly light bill because these are people who have lost everything.
Now, Mambiso,
yeah, hello.
Babia, woman, no more originally, no. Says, woman, to me, got no beam.
Enti, omo ye lucky, no. That is, omo na omo dying a year ding kakra, and I say it was a mod. They have been able to move back because in Siono receive structural integrity assessment and the reports no by and those buildings that were considered by the engineers to be safe no to me are relocated or more but as I indicated there were about 1,500 or more 1,500 houses totally destroyed. Into that one, no, you don't have a choice about it. And another category of a dino, a bubu dear, now so above very weak and are partially damaged. And a structural integrity report, no, HSA, it's a death trap. We have to demolish it. Ukomwa enye, you are just going to commit suicide. Into that category of people, no, Omudaswa, Omuwa camps, no, they are there with those who don't have any houses at all because their houses were damaged. Into OSHA situation now, there is really the justification for construction. You relocate almost so that in Kolano, Betumianya or Moscow no ako, because you can't continue to have this situation where volunteer teachers it's not the best of situation. I mean, concentration levels are poor, and the environment, is not ideal. It's not conducive for teaching and learning. But as I was saying, many first to me 7 weeks. Until you started second one, this week, the fourth week, overshare the level of completion is very impressive. You drew 70%. Roofing, they say, and we don't have a specific company to say send a first wire with the first one. We know Ghana for I would say it's a United Ghana project. Into for example, Chief Imam Bemai 70,000. The share project name Reverend Anaba the 50,000. Ghanaian workers in the UN system, almost the $13,000 and I think $13,200. The share project name. ECG workers at the cement $100 every chair and draw New Jersey NDC chapter almost the $300 by it's a United Ghana project. Ghana for on peso mupua into Sikao cemento. The Chief Justice has also indicated collection of muye from the judges about 125,000. This second building project. The sea borehole back now. The Akano building materials. Similar effort by other groups. A call from Gov't. For now, the construction is the most urgent requirement. Ghana for us and you in the media constantly highlighting the plight of the people, but we need that urgency. We need more support, more concerted effort, because we share conditions under which the people are living in these classrooms, and yet the best. Ventilation, poor, congested. Ghana Medical Association for ABBA, they've done their report. Almost say the conditions are not the best. It's already people have got all kinds of diseases because of this, respiratory diseases, skin infections, cholera, typhoid, and all of that. We are racing against time, working very, very fast. You better deliver these houses. Within few weeks, we are able to build. And what we are doing is we don't want to spread ourselves thin, because we are learning lessons from other mistakes that have happened as a country. One after the other, based on your strength, resources that we are able to mobilize. Your real first one, you are relocating NIPA 300 into the first one. Into second one, we are hoping to also finish within the same period, now break our 7-week record. And also we'll move another 300. And we are prioritizing women and children, the single mothers, and the aged. This second one in Mapano, you better prioritizing the aged, or more above 70, 80, because really, We shouldn't let the vulnerable be living under these conditions. And we are doing our best to make sure, sir, you're better to me, Abua, all of these victims of the spillage now VR4 on the 15th of September 2023.
In all this, about commitment in the same.
To be honest with you, no, a buying presence for Hano is virtually non-existent. Because a diner, yes, so far, a private initiative. Obama first Inquisito, which was the biggest displaced camp. The secondary school was collapsing, and we had to relocate into Yesi at first resettlement, first Sky project, and I relocated the displaced people who were at my first Inquisito, so that the school would not collapse, because now continuing students were beginning to seek transfer to other schools. And our first years too had been posted. 800 first years had been posted there, and there was no space because displaced people were there. You relocate or more, but Osha Ejuma Akosombo, Mia na Meya painting, Mina Meya groundworks, renovations na Akoso. Meanwhile, we have appealed to the GES, the Minister of Education. I raised it in Parliament. Minister Ashoying. I think the government response has just, all we have is, yabeba, but it's been so lethargic, very, very slow. And also, the issues confronting us, time in it's of, there's a certain agency about it. Because Osha Sankizito say, you're moving in, and your renovations, and your painting, and my assurance to parents now. Parents would relocate their children because they are going to write the same WASI. There will be no different set of questions for students who are Professor Inquisito Senior High School. And you have to act swiftly, but we are not seeing, and because of the lack of agency from government, we always have to step in. Adanya say, Anka buying Abba AC Maya. Because really, member of parliament here is not really when you're minister for works and housing. It's not really your mandate, technically speaking. But because of the vacuum, 1 year, buying is not on the ground. I don't know what they are waiting for, whether on person or more raising new revenues and sana or more which is quite surprising because OSHA budgets every year we have what we call a contingency in the budget. In 2023, say Parliament approved 533 million for the contingency vote, and this is what you use contingency for. Contingency is for emergencies, unforeseen development, things you couldn't predict. And in Myanmar, to me and Kase na unim say basi. That's what contingency is about. It is 533 million. As a member of parliament, I am at a loss what that money was used for and why we cannot feel, the contingency vote at work. Mekaise, about a couple of years ago, documents intercepted on the National Cathedral. They were using the contingency vote for that, as the finance minister later confirmed. But National Cathedral project, any contingency, it's not emergency. President what decided say on no percent will see project say he put together a board, he selects land and all of that, puts measures in place, even gives himself various timelines over multiple years. That cannot be contingency. We share the Public Financial Management Act, the definition of contingency. After contingency situation, this is a real emergency. And when it has happened, you can't see any use of the contingency. Sikani nyina abaya spending so far on this matter. Omoba parliament ye bisa omono. Omosi ya VRF4 ena omama ya sikano. That's the 20 million cedis that government says they use for relief items, no, at the initial stages of this disaster. So the question is, central government and Kasano, what are they doing? Where is their contribution? Where is the contingency vote? And to be honest with you, those of us in the affected communities, no, we are not impressed with government. There's a certain feeling there. We have been abandoned, we've neglected, and it's like we are on our own. If we don't help ourselves, then you cannot expect government will be there for us, which is really, really unfortunate and condemnable. Because many your taxes. I mean, we Ghana for, and government owes a duty to all citizens, particularly citizens in distress. More so when disaster we see, you know. It's of no fault of the people. And you're not done for now. Omoko be Akosombo Dam. This is a man-made disaster. A VRF4, and we can recognize they have explained if they didn't spill, the dam could have collapsed and the effect will have been more catastrophic. But how do you do the spillage? Because we've seen other spillage between 1968 and 2010. No? We've been living here. We have seen how they have spilled gradually. It has never been like this. It's never this level of devastation, this level of catastrophe. And then you see 2023 spillage. No? It appears the way it was done, full blast, one go, you know, and it left in its wake this despicable levels of horror. And many people here now, they are bearing the brunt so that the dam will be saved, so we can all have electricity. And the least we can do is to at least look out for them as a government, be there for them, carry out your obligations for them. Because we have seen disasters, see other parts of the country, how government has responded, the interventions. For example, construction of houses, say, and yet the first time a disaster, government is required to build houses. A Piatti comes to mind. A Piatti disaster, no see, we saw government moving in and building houses. Of course, government probably has not been as efficient and as quick because Matisse, none of the houses have been completed. But at least we've seen pictures of some effort. They may not have been completed, but at least Abai AC or Musi. And any day, enough time will appreciate that kind of intervention. Say, at least Abai started. Or more slow, crana. Even if they are not being efficient, crana. Or more started, or Musi be. And I want to use this opportunity to ask the government, led by His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, they owe all the flood victims care, a duty to be fair and just to them as the Constitution mandates them. Their oath of office, the oath that President Akufo-Addo swore, says that he should be fair to all manner of persons. As president, he has to be fair. I recall Obaha Obeka said, yes, and all, but that's not the issue. That should not even arise. What matters, we all pay taxes. It doesn't matter how we vote. That's not the issue. It is totally wrong to even bring voting into these matters. It should be about how we care for the vulnerable, we care for fellow citizens, especially when you are in charge of the national resources. We pay all our taxes to you, not to the member of parliament. It's to the government. And we expect the government to do what is fair, what is just, and what is right. And so far, we don't feel the government's presence. The government is simply not here.
See, na ene the Bokrata searchlight or the Aba GRA demands apology from Ablakwa. Omuchema almost say managing director, Reverend Dr. Amishadai Usu Amwa.
Yeah, Commissioner General.
Commissioner General, what say was Conde? No, I'm saying Debbie and Tissa. About the same.
OKFM 101.7.